Hey Ravens flock, how's it going? Mills RX here, and the injury report came out recently, and I want to walk through it with you because we have some very encouraging news, but also we are still pretty banged up going into Sunday's game against the Dolphins. So I'm going to walk you through it and potentially give you some of my thoughts and see who may be in and who may be out. So I'm going to bring it up right now. All right, here we go. Here is Thursdays. It's Thursday, September 15th. This is the injury report for week 2 against the Dolphins. Said because we're already the Florida Ravens, so it's pretty much like a home game for us with as many people from South Florida we have on our roster. So we're starting Nick Boyle, non-injury related. It's a rest thing. He didn't have a designation Wednesday. He didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice today. Even if he gets a limited or even a full session in Friday, I expect him to be a healthy scratch like he was last week against the Jets. So there's that. Another full practice for J.K. Dobbins. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Like I've been saying on Twitter, as long as the soft tissue in his knee, if it supports the joint, if it cushions it and helps as a shock absorber, if his knee has regained some range of motion, which I believe it has, and like the tissue around it has some pliability, some flexibility, and even has maybe been strengthening through all the PT he's been doing, that'd be great. I would prefer another week, but if we can get him back versus the Dolphins, that'd be great because having Drake and having JK as your that's a good 1-2 punch right there. And yeah, that'd be great. And Justice Hill as our receiving down back, that'll be awesome. Now, Marlon Humphrey is dealing with a growing injury. He didn't have a injury designation Wednesday because I don't believe he practiced Wednesday, and he got a limited session in today. That's a bit encouraging, but still, from what I'm hearing, it's most likely a mild growing strain. At worst, he probably strained an adductor muscle in his groin. Now, those are the muscles in your groin that help you that also are part of your core, but also help you move as well. And I think at worst, he may have strained the adductor longus muscle, which is the strongest, and also it runs from the top from your pelvic bone all the way to the back of your thigh. So if he strained that one, and if he doesn't practice tomorrow, he may be doubtful going into for the Dolphins game. He's going to be questionable. He's questionable now, but if Marlon doesn't practice tomorrow, then he'll probably be doubtful. Next, we have Travis Jones. Oh, good to see him back. He had a limited session Wednesday, and he upgraded to a full session today. Now, he's coming back off of that hyperextended left knee. Also, he overstretched the MCL in his left knee. It wasn't damaged by any way. He just overstretched. It may have been some micro tearing, but other than that, there was no other structural damage to the knee. It was just hyperextended. He probably overstretched. He overstretched the MCL, and he's doing well. We're pretty deep at D tackle, so we don't need to rush him back, which is good. So, and that's even what defensive coordinator, I think Mike McDonald, I think that's his name. That's what he said. We don't need to rush him back because we pretty much have a lot of people at that holding down that spot. So good to have depth in the front seven. Marcus Peters, he upgraded to a full, so that's it. So that's good. So the biggest question marks, JK and Marcus, they're doing pretty good now. Like I said, if he gets one more full in or even another limited in on Friday, there's a good chance that Marcus could play. But it's going to be all up to him. He said he won't come back until he feels 100%, but looking at how his workout last week and how he's been in practice, he's looking pretty good. His ACL is looking pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays this week, but we'll just have to monitor that and see. Now, James Prochet downgraded from a limited on Wednesday, and he just didn't practice today. Now, James Prochet has dealt with so many soft tissue injuries since the beginning of camp. I mean, he had that hamstring. He had that hamstring strain. He had another soft tissue injury in his thigh. So now it's a growing. So now he's dealing with a growing injury. 9 times out of 10, it's a growing strain, and and I would even go as far to say that it's probably he probably pulled or potentially strained one of the adductor muscles I was talking about with Marlon. So not good. He may be out, but we'll see. But right now, I'm putting him at doubtful. Now, Patrick Ricard has not practiced all week. He is dealing with a grade 1 calf strain. He has said he suffered it against the Jets, but it was only getting worse. The muscle actually stiffened. He had some tightness in it, and he felt like he really couldn't move it. It is a grade 1 calf strain, from what I'm hearing. Um, and if he doesn't practice Friday, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be out. I expect him to miss this game against him. Kind of a bummer because he played a really good game against the Jets. Ronnie Stanley, you don't really like seeing this. He had a limited practice, but then he downgraded to not practicing at all. Now, I haven't heard much about this. Hopefully, he is having it was just an evaluation day or a maintenance day. I heard there was some ankle soreness and a little inflammation in his ankle today, but I didn't. But if he doesn't practice on Friday, he'll probably be out again. Um, so we're just gonna have to take it week by week with Ronnie. He's the biggest question mark right now. So and unfortunately, we lost Jawan James last game with a torn Achilles. He literally ripped the Achilles off of the femur bone. So that may be a career-ending one right there. So we are pretty thin at tackle right now. I expect I expect to expect maybe Morgan Moses to kick over to left tackle, and maybe Daniel Falele makes his NFL debut at right tackle. Maybe to maybe we go with Moses at left tackle, as I said before. Maybe Makari goes to right tackle. Said, heck, maybe we try Daniel Falele at left tackle because he has some experience when he played at Minnesota, though the majority of his game was at right tackle. He played a couple of games at left tackle, and there's have a stat here. I have a stat here, right? That when he played left tackle, he gave up 0 sacks and only 4 QB pressures. Something to think about. So, but yeah, we're just going to have to monitor Ronnie Stanley. There's no predicting when he'll be back, which is sad. And also, like I said, our secondary is pretty banged up right now, which is not good because we're going up against one of the faster wide receiver cores in the league. They've got Cedric Wilson, they got Jalen Waddle, and they got Tyreek Hill, the cheetah himself, the fastest guy in the league uh, per per NFL Next Gen Stats. No one has run faster with the ball this year than Tyreek Hill, and he's been the fastest the past 2 years. I mean, well, I said, well, when you're an Olympic sprint, when you're a sprinter, you can definitely have that speed. So, but yeah, Brandon Stevens has a quad injury. This is a quad strain. He strained his quadricep muscle last game. He was able to get a limited session in Wednesday, but too much tightness and a little pain. That's why he didn't practice today. So he's a coin flip. We'll see what happens Friday. But if I had to predict tomorrow's official one, I'd say Nick Boyle. Nick Boyle, he'll probably be questionable, but I doubt he plays. Depending on what JK does, if JK has a full session or even a limited session, he'll go down as questionable, but then he'll be upgraded to a full game time decision. Marlon Humphreys, definitely questionable. Travis Jones, he'll be questionable, but then he'll probably be downgraded to doubtful and he won't play. He still needs about another week. Marcus Peters, he's a true questionable. We don't know if he'll play. If we don't know if he'll play, but yep, he's a true questionable. Could be a game time decision, pretty much. James Prochet, I don't see him playing. He'll be questionable, but I expect him to be downgraded to doubtful, maybe even out. Patrick Ricard, he will definitely be doubtful on the official report tomorrow. I don't see him playing. He'll probably be ruled out. Ronnie Stanley, once again, he'll be doubtful, and if he doesn't practice tomorrow or even gets a limited in, he probably won't play against the Dolphins. Brandon Stevens, I don't expect him to play. He'll be doubtful, but then downgraded to out. So, yep, that is the injury report today, and those are just my thoughts on it. Giving you a bit of a different format than the car videos. So, yeah, if you like what you hear here, give me a like down below. Also, check out my YouTube channel, which is Game Medicine. Also, follow me at Game Medicine on Twitter. Yep, Mills RX here from the Ravens Mini Clinic. Have a nice night. Go Ravens.